What's up, everybody? This is Jay Wicker with Small Business Stand Up, and we got one of our great entrepreneurs on the line with us today. What's up, Miss Danielle?
What's up? What's up? How you feeling, Jay?
It's a great day to be alive, man. It's a great day to
On the
be alive.
right side of the dirt.
Yes, absolutely. Which means I have some time to put in some work. You know what I'm saying, with these businesses and stuff like that. Continue to hustle. It's a long day, but hey, I wouldn't want it any other way. What about
Amen,
you?
brother. Same here. I was ripping and running across town. You know, one of them days where you gotta run around. Like, there's in your office busy, and then there's ripping and running busy. So
Yeah.
today was a ripping and running busy kind of day. So I'm like you. I'm kind of winding down now.
Yeah. I'm glad that we was able to push this thing back to this time because actually I got time now to get a little nap in. I feel revived, like I'm not, what I'm saying, hustling. And then the great thing too, man, some of the people who want to catch a live or whatever case, they get a chance to do it. So that's a good thing. What's up with you? What's up with you, brother? Mr. Leverage?
I'm back. How's everybody doing?
All right. What's up, everybody that's on here? Please like, share, and subscribe. If you don't
Please.
mind, please like, share, subscribe, man. So how's it going with you, Leverage? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm blessed. Like I said, I celebrated my birthday this past
Oh
Friday.
man.
You know, 33 into my Jesus year.
That's that year too. That's
You
that
know,
year, man.
that's the year, and I definitely feel the pressure, but yeah, I'm good. I'm blessed to be here. Glad I could be on the show today.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you, man. That's no pressure, man. You know what I'm saying? You living life, man. What's the alternative? You not get older. You know what that means? It's over.
Hey
You
man, you
know?
know what? I don't know what that holds.
Yeah.
I guess I can wait to find out.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. So, well, listen, man. You know how we do, man. We talk about business, man. So, to the people who have been listening to it probably since day one, we're gonna change up some stuff a little bit. So, hopefully, you guys like it. Hey, just tell us if you do, tell us if you don't. We just want to hear some feedback. So,
Amen.
I know you guys got a chance to look at, the top. I think what's called a thumbnail. I guess it's called at the
Yeah.
top, where it talks about how to set up an LLC and the EIN number, man. So
Yeah.
let's kind of jump into this thing real quick here. Let me find my.
I
So,
want to start off by Can I start off by saying something?
yes, sir. Please.
That's what you're
First
here for.
off, everyone, do not pay in if you're watching this and somebody charges you to get an EIN number. Walk away.
Yes.
That's the
Please.
first thing I want to say. Do not pay
Please.
for an employer identification number. It is free on irs.gov. Just go to irs.gov, type in the search bar EIN, and some links gonna pop up to take you there.
Let me
I just want to
Why
jump
you
off
hating on
there.
their hustle, man?
we go right here, bro. Here we go right here. Here we
But
go
that,
right here.
oh look, he had it ready. He had it ready, yo.
Because it's,
So that's step one.
Listen,
I
Do
mean,
not,
it's a predatory hustle.
it
unless
is.
you
It's
just got money to throw away. Hey, that's what's up. Pay somebody. Time is money. So if you ain't got the time to do it
if you
yourself,
man, take 5 minutes,
hey
Yeah, man.
man,
about
some
five.
people their time is valuable.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I want to be in their shoes to the point to where I can't even spare 5 to 10 minutes to set up my company. And you know what? Yeah, go ahead and take this couple $100 and let me work on your timetable when I know it can. My grandma always told me, don't wait for somebody to do something for you, knowing damn well you could do it yourself.
Amen.
Uh,
So like you said, so you go to irs.gov, man.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
had
man.
quite a few people reach out to me and ask me, man, how you set the LLC, man? I want to go through attorney and all that. Listen, man,
An
you don't have to do that.
attorney.
Yeah, I've heard it say that you want to
Yeah,
go through service, all kind of stuff, man.
it
So now,
depends. It
here's
depends.
the deal too. We gotta make sure we put this disclaimer on there, right? Um, this is for entertainment purposes only. This whole
Yes.
thing, the whole us accountable, the Mid City Network, all that good stuff, man. It just don't reflect the people that's on the podcast, our sponsors, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
It's purely for
as for me, this is
educational
what I
purposes.
did.
Yeah, for educational purposes. Please research on your own.
Yes, please,
That's why
please,
God gave us Google. So
absolutely.
But
And we will give resources throughout the show for
Facts.
you to go through the proper channels to find, because once again, even for the people on here that are qualified to speak on these topics, we don't want to tell somebody something because it's not a one size fits all.
and
There's
that
not
is the biggest thing to remember.
So
there's
true.
not a one size fits all.
So I guess we'd be remiss, man, not to even just ask the questions. What is a LLC or limited liability company or whatever?
I'm gonna
What
let
what
him
is,
have that
what is
because I'll be completely honest. I'm still confused because I done Googled and looked and the info it's so layered. So, Mr. Leverage,
So
I'm sure
we're
you
gonna
got it.
we're gonna
it?
keep it
A bean.
simple. We're gonna keep it real simple. So uh
High level, high
when you
level.
start a
Yeah.
business, we obviously think of a few things. We think of one, if we attain what our goals are, we don't want to lose it, right? If we get it,
Right.
we don't want, if I get the house I want to live in, I get the car, the whatever, all the stuff I work for, I don't want to lose it. So that goes into the liability aspect, and then there also goes the tax aspect of it. So when we get paid, most people work W-2 jobs. So
Yeah.
you get post-tax dollars. You get the tax has already been taken out. You may see what the gross is, but you'll never see the gross yourself. Versus when you decide to go in business for yourself, you set up an entity. Now there are different types of entities. As Danielle said, it's a lot. There's limited liability corporations. It's the most famous one. There are S corps. There are C corps. There are partnerships, PLLCs, and you're going to want to use each one depending on the type of business that you have, and also what you estimate your finances are going to look like, because like I said, tax implications go in. If I'm going to set up a company that's going to be big like Amazon, I don't want a LLC. I want a
Yeah.
C corp. Because I'm scaling big enough that I'm going to have shareholders. I'm going big time.
Yeah.
um Typically what you'll see is a lot of doctors or people in professions, attorneys or consultants, then somebody will tell you, "Oh, we'll do a S corp," and these are just things that you'll typically hear. And like I said, we're just keeping it high level just to jot
Yeah.
everybody. Oh yeah, I've heard that before. Um, so it's just really when you want to make sure that the stuff that you work so hard for, will not get taken easily, because it can still get taken, but it won't get taken easily.
Facts.
Versus if somebody just sues you as a person. And then you also get different tax treatment with the IRS, meaning you'll be able to see if you sell candles and you got your LLC set up and you sold all these candles, well, you get to see this money before the IRS does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get pre-tax dollars now. So now you can make different decisions as to what you want to do and how you want to run your business, and really manage your cash flow, which is the lifeblood of any business. So
Facts.
those are typically, just a overview of a LLC, when you see it, why you'll see it. Um, but the other side of it is it takes work. You need to make sure that when you file this paperwork, it's filed correctly. All supporting documentation is there. Um, Most people don't even know they can just go file their LLC online.
Yeah.
They can do that
Absolutely.
themselves. You can
Absolutely.
do it on your Secretary of State's website. Jay, you
Mm-hmm.
had mentioned somebody talked about a lawyer. One of the
Yeah,
reasons why
that's
you
what I was
probably,
like. Who is paying a lawyer?
But
but
to
here's
a
a
person
benefit.
that
There's
don't
a
know,
benefit.
yeah.
There's a
I
benefit
mean,
to
I
it though.
understand. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
knock nobody's
Yeah.
hustle.
It's
Yeah.
Trust
no, no,
me,
no,
but
not even that, not even that. Well, let's look at it in this aspect. If you're drafting an operating agreement, or you're drafting, corporate minutes, you have all of these different things that, because these are statutory entities. The state puts mandates and requirements and things on these entities. So if you don't know the specific,
For your
legal
state.
jar,
For your
especially for your
for
state,
your
for your
right?
state.
state,
Yeah.
yes,
Or even the state that, because you may live in Texas and want to
or
set
where
up a
you're
company. I know
operating
people
in.
set up a company in Delaware. They want to set it. You
Yeah.
want to know what the laws of this state are and how they apply to your business. So if you can afford it, yeah, it is ideal to get an attorney. But if you're depending, like I said, this is never a one size fits all situation. Because if, like I said earlier, if I'm just making candles, right, and that's some bath bombs and stuff like that, I got a real simple business. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that just requires a lot of in-depth, complex stuff. Yeah, you just do it simple. Get your LLC run. Do it that way. Some people who are real estate investors, Jay, this. Um, a lot of guys they'll have a LLC for each property
Yep.
that they purchase.
Yeah.
So that way you can separate the liability. So if you have
Exactly.
a tenant in one building and you and that tenant, you have some issues and they try to sue you, well, that's just one LLC.
One
There aren't
LLC.
the others that they can go tap into and touch.
Yeah, that's important too, man. Like I said, it's a limited liability. That's very important, man. It's a
Yeah.
way of separating church and state. Say
Yeah.
your money from the company. You know what I'm saying? So, like you just said, man, like you're doing real estate, right? I know some people, they may put 2 or 3 houses in one LLC. Some people put, set up a separate entity for each one of them. But like you say, if somebody get hurt at one of your properties, and they want to sue you, or let's say you, God forbid, you drive down the street and you run over a person, and all these sue happy lawyers out there, whatever the case is, right?
You
And they
can,
pull you up and see you got all these
It's a very
LLCs,
litigious
all these
country.
companies. They coming at you. You know what I'm
so
saying? But
I
these are
want to
ways
take some
trying
time
to
and
help.
I want to take something and piggyback off that. So one, people get sued every day.
Yeah,
Like for some people, it's a full-time job. They
yeah,
just sue.
Yes, I
yeah,
learned that
I'm
recently.
I don't know
yeah.
if y'all remember me mentioning a couple of episodes back. There's a guy. He's an internet personality. His name is Charleston
Charleston
White.
White. I,
Yeah,
I got.
and
I'm gonna tell you about that later.
yeah, the brother sit there and shows people how you can go sue employers and hit up OSHA and get paid.
Oh, was that dude? I saw that video.
I'm this. What this?
And I wanted to
Yeah,
send it to
yeah.
some people because now, I come from manufacturing, and that's the thing. Everything he said made sense, but
Makes sense.
I don't understand who's hiring this man.
No, that is something. He's really intelligent. He's really intelligent guy. He just go off the top of his head and just break that stuff down. I'm like, wow, man, that make a lot of sense. What he
It
just
does.
said, but it's true.
It
It's so
is.
true. And this kind of sidebar, but this Saturday, because I had a lot of people that hit me up and shoot me videos on this dude all the time. I'm doing like a little room where basically said who move me into this particular room. Let's talk about Charleston White, because some of the stuff that he does, man, is insane. But a lot of it is right on point, man. You know what I'm saying about the gangs and all that stuff. That's kind of a sidebar, but we're
Oh
gonna do
yeah,
that
yeah.
this Saturday.
I
We'll talk
just
about
wanted to discuss the liability
it.
aspect of that, because
Because of people like him.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a liability, and
Yeah.
there are 3 sides to it all. It's so there are three to ownership. There's 3 aspects of it. There's title, which is of course that ownership. It's in my name. There is beneficial interest, meaning if I have a car, beneficial interest is being able to drive the car to and from wherever you want to go. You got a house, beneficial interest is living in it, and then you have equitable interest, which is I paid for it, I bought it. We know that much. We familiar with that part. So if you have all three of those, and for one asset, and you can get sued. You can get sued. That is the breakdown of it. If you have title, it's in your name, you have beneficial interest, you use it for your benefit, you have equitable interest, you bought it and you can sell it, you can get sued and it can get taken away if you don't have the necessary precautions. And that's the big thing if I'm a business owner, right? It's easy for us to look at like athletes, right?
Yeah.
Professional. Even part of what we were talking about with Charleston White, for some of these guys, granted, it's not necessarily, oh, I'm going to get sued per se, but it's a liability, meaning some legal action that I'm luring you so that way I can take some legal action against you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I can take that legal action against you, that's a liability for you. It's a loss for you.
Yeah. Because a
And
lot of companies will settle outside of that just under the threat, but to his point, it's still a loss. Even
it
just
is.
essentially it turns into what, everybody knows is hush money, where that's what companies have to do. But either way, it's a loss. Either you're going to get sued or you're going to have to pay this person to shut up and stop complaining or being vocal about your company. So I can see why, if you're that conscious and maybe setting up, to his point, like a more complicated business, going to a lawyer to understand your risks and all of that other stuff. Because using your bath bomb example, them not so much. Financial consultants and those, you leaning into a more trickier field where people are a little bit more sensitive about what they, especially like real estate. So I think some industries are more prone to being sued. So definitely, if you're interested in starting one of those,
here's the thing.
I can see why you would consult a lawyer at the very, very, very beginning.
Let me play devil's advocate though. What, hypothetically speaking, if we do have somebody who makes bath bombs, right? And then somebody buys it and they use it and they break
trust
out.
me, it's risk. It's
You
risk
know what I'm
involved
saying?
with everything.
So it's one of those things where as soon as you that happens if you drive in your car and you hit somebody else, they can take you to court for that. So when you decide that you're gonna take control over your own income, somebody else can automatically see that. And it's just that's the reason why people set up these entities. And it's even deeper than that. Of course I don't want to just rush into it, but the the people that you see on the news or that you dream of being in their positions, they don't have these same issues. They don't necessarily have these same issues. They operate under different structures, and they use things that adhere to different laws, different pieces of the tax code, because ultimately that's where everything boils down to is whatever you got a treatment, like you got an S corp that gets different tax treatment.
Yeah, man.
LLC. That's the one other thing we're gonna clear up, because that's a myth. You don't set up an S corp with the IRS. You set up a C corp with the IRS because you're telling the IRS how you want this business to be treated tax wise.
Facts.
So it's not, you don't go to the Secretary of State. You don't go to, we're in Texas. We don't go to Greg Abbott or whoever it is out here in Texas. And you're not going to go get it. Oh, I'm going to get an S Corp. I'm going to get a C Corp. No, you're going to get an LLC, and then you're going to change that status of the LLC with the Internal Revenue Service to that of an S Corp or that of a C Corp.
Yeah, and make sure you guys are taking in great notes, man, because this is a lot of game, man. This is a lot of game, man. This is my guy, Curtis. Curtis, what's up, brother?
Hey, brother, how y'all doing this afternoon?
Doing great.
Welcome.
What's up, man?
It's my credit guy, Curtis, man. We've been rocking for a long time.
Oh, the credit.
Look, that's what I was gonna say when you put it up there.
So we talking about
my credit guy set my LLC up, because that's what you talking about, like paying and all of that. He's like my business partner though, and to your point, Mr. Leverage, where it comes to like people pay. I sat there and watched him do it in 10 minutes, and I'm like, people pay you to do this?
But he knows consumer law. Most people who specialize in credit know the aspects of when am I being treated, like even deeper. Mr. Curtis, I'm pretty sure you can probably elaborate on this, but the fact that when our licenses, our socials, your name being in all caps, the difference between you as a natural person and you operating as, that of a corporation, just the differences in that. So when you have knowledge of that area, it is a lot easier to if you can understand the Truth in Lending Act, you can understand the FCRA and that part, you can go figure out, what laws pertain to which business entities and stuff like that. It's reasonable to expect that.
Correct. So
and that was a benefit to me, because like you said, he does that. So that's why he was able to do it. A normal person who doesn't know all of that probably, along with that mindset and hesitation and just overwhelming, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So that is the benefit of getting somebody that is qualified, or rather knowledgeable on the subject to help you get that set up.
You had a comment, Curtis?
No, I'm just going right along what you say. Yeah, you have to be able in a position to understand those rules and regulations and policies and procedures. And, once you have an understanding of those, then it's easier to navigate between, the things you're trying to do, set up the LLC or S Corp or what have you. It makes it a lot easier because you understand, how to do things and do it right the first time. Because, when you're doing that type of work, man, if submit the wrong documents, or you don't cross your T's and dot your I's, it could take that process a lot longer to complete. So you definitely want to make sure you get it right the first time.
Yes, sir. You better get you some errors and omissions insurance at that.
Yeah, absolutely, very important, man. So the people that's just getting their business off the ground, man, and you guys are getting to that next level where you set up your LLC. You want to get your bank account and all that stuff, your EIN number. So these are some of the things you're gonna definitely need an LLC set up to be able to do that, right? The EIN number to be able to set up your account. So here's some things that you can do. You don't really have to go and spend a whole lot of money to get somebody to set that up for you. You can kind of do a lot of that stuff yourself. But if you run across some situations to where you don't quite understand, hey, if you need to invest a little bit of money to get that done, man, definitely do it. You know, you don't want to leave nothing out, man, and leave yourself out there to where you can be sued or whatever the case is. So it's very important to take do what you need to do.
And one other thing, that a lot of times doesn't get brought up when people talk about buying LLCs. Check and see if a franchise tax applies to you, because that's one of the crucial things. That's what they call it, red tape risk. So you have to keep minutes. You have to keep everything separate. Whether it's separate, like you said, separate church and state. Proverbially, this is you separating everything from you and your business. That's how you maintain limited liability. And that also goes into if the state comptroller decides that your business does fall into the category where you have to pay a franchise tax. That varies state to state. So there, just going back to, there are some reasons why you would want to consult with somebody who's knowledgeable in this field, because there are different twists and turns that if you don't adhere to every rule, if you don't, if the IRS comes and for a lot of people right now who that PPP stuff, right? If they come and they check, they're going to check to see if you pierced the corporate veil, if your company was set up at the appropriate time when you received the funds, if they were allocated accordingly. So for a lot of times it's people who are just ignorant of the rules, and they thought it was a come up, but it's like
no excuse though.
Negligent. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
So
we now learn that.
So we talked about the limited liability, right, company, right? So it's important though, man, you keep it separated. So if you're paying your bills out of your business account, your light bill and all that type of stuff, you kind of you come from up under that umbrella, so to speak, man. So when somebody come after you, they can come after you personally too, right? So that's very important, man, to keep that in mind. So we also talked about how to set up the LLC. We kind of went through that a little bit as well. So let's jump into this one right here, right? What is an operating agreement and why do you need one? So we got the LLC. Why do we need the operating agreement? Why is that important to have?
One, for, like I just said, that red tape risk. So if you're supposedly running a legitimate business, and let's say under the some governmental agency, they need to verify if you're legitimate. Your operating agreement spells out the structure of your business, how decisions are made, how who has control over financial information, who has to authorize before a member is let go, whether or not this is a member managed or a manager managed LLC. There's, if you, like I said, this cannot be overstated. Not everybody gets audited. But if you do, and you don't have these things in place, you may get the Wesley Snipes treatment. You may.
I was trying not to be the first one to bring it up. Don't be Wesley.
Don't be Wesley.
He went for a long time though.
Yeah.
But when they got him,
they don't play. You're going down.
The biggest bully in America is America's tax system. They gonna get their money.
Now here's the deal though. They don't take you when you get out. You don't owe it. You still owe it.
Yeah.
You still owe it.
Money. You know what I'm saying? You still owe it. Very important, man. So do the stuff you need to do up front, so that way you can come out smooth on the back end, man. It's very important.
And it's never too late so this is my devil's advocate moment. Like if you don't have these things, go get them. It's never too late to start. So if you feel like, oh man, I didn't do that, or I missed something, talk to somebody that you trust and work with somebody to get these things knocked off. Because sometimes in business, people go, and they forget about, I think I talked about this last time, the back end stuff, it's the housekeeping things that keep you out of jail. Or keep you from paying fines, rather. That's the
out of jail as well. Because it's real. We get to talking about the government. I have one person I used to work with. He made a joke. If you put the and IRS together, it spells theirs.
I love that.
Wow.
That's not great. Yours.
Theirs.
I love that, man. That's
so they gonna always get theirs. And the big thing is having the right people. The big differences between, and I'm always speak in the terms of the goal line, the outcome that we're thinking of, that we're dreaming of. Those people in those situations, they have the right type of advisors. So there is going to be a point in time to where I usually say, hey, when you feel like you're paying at least 20 5 figures in taxes, you really need to be thinking about who your team is, what people you have around you that are guiding those decisions. Because now we're talking about whether or not you're going to be able to meet your own financial goals, whether or not you'll be able to sustain that. And if you don't have the proper measures in place, then everything that you've built up can literally come crumbling down around you. I mean, this is the land of the land of the free, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure you can go look at a million cases where people have attempted to do certain things and they've created taxable events, and they did not, pay up on what they were supposed to do, or something happened and a law may be outdated, but you still broke that outdated law. And even though the penalties may seem, nobody's went and reviewed this, but it doesn't matter. You're guilty of it at this point in time when it's a statute and it's ain't been struck down yet. So that's why you always want to make sure that if you do get to a point where you got something to lose, or you can afford, before you even get something worth losing, you can get the information, do it. Get it.
So we talked about the LLC being like a corporate veil, right? So let's say you get an invoice. Do you sign your personal name on the invoice, or do you sign? How do you sign that? What's the best way to sign that?
Well, I mean, it depends on the type of like I said, the company. So if it's a doctor's office, right? This is the practice of such and such and such and such, then it would be a reasonable thing for this to be the person who signs off on it. Versus if you're talking about, we operate under this brand, well then you need to sign as a representative, as an agent of that entity. But anybody that's a business coach or advisor, they'll tell you, your logo and stuff needs to be on your letterheads, your emails. Curtis, you work with credit, so even when people are getting business credit, we look at the appearance that they have to put on for potential lenders. And I don't want to say appearance, but you have to make sure that when
you got to play the game.
When they look at you, okay, this email came from this person. It came from an actual email address from this part of the company. It's a domain that belongs to the company. The phone number is they got a landline. I got a fax number. Oh, everything that they send over has their logo on it. It has their mission statement, their vision, all of these different things that I think, and a lot of times in our community as business owners, get overlooked. Are the true,
and it's simple stuff too.
It's like what's that saying? The devil's in the details.
It is.
Yeah. So I know we talked about the LLC, so we got a couple more questions on that as well, man. But the EIN number, right? We talked about that too, kind of how to set that up a little bit. Let's touch on that one more time, and then we kind of jump into the credit part of that too as well. How do you set the LLC, the EIN number up again? What site we got to go to, guys, for the new people that just came on?
You're going to irs.gov.
And how long does it take you? How easy is it, or is it difficult?
It'll take you 20 minutes or less. And I say 20 minutes, and that's given a handicap.
Yeah.
I was about to say, depending on your computer literacy.
Yeah, that's given a handicap.
Yeah.
If you don't know
Go to
nothing about
YouTube
computers, it'll
Go-
take you 20 minutes to just read and scroll.
Yeah. So I know at this time, right, you go get that EIN number, man. And I would say, if I were to do it all over again, right? So now I'm really now focusing on that business credit now, right? You know, you get the EIN number, man. Curtis, talk to us a little bit about business credit. You work with business credit at all?
Yeah, I work with a little bit of business credit, but it's always good to, like I said, just like at the LLC, man, you want to get that separated, from your personal versus your business. Get that, DNB credibility established, so you can, and you want to set up your, your lines of credit and everything against your business name instead of your personal name. So that's why it's important to get all those other aspects of the, of the business set up under that corporation or LLC.
Yeah. So what's the best way to kind of to get your EIN number, your credit established for your business? Like you just starting out, you just getting your business going, you got your LLC together, got your EIN number. What's the best way to get that started?
I mean, just like your personal credit, man. You want to get that DNB number up, go out and establish some credibility. Just like your personal credit. I mean, just like
Yeah, you find some vendors.
Hey, let me give the gym.
Vendors.
I'm gonna give this some value. I want if somebody, I'm gonna repeat this. Go look this book up. It's called The Unbreakable Laws of Business Credit by Corey P. Smith. Once again, The Unbreakable Laws of Business Credit by Corey P. Smith. And when I tell you it, I'm saying this because if they ever want to hire something from somebody, they put it in a book.
True.
And this brother goes,
Yeah, you better tell it.
This brother does better than most when it goes into really, and he has a series of books, but more specifically on business credit. He gives the lowdown. He even gives you the name of some vendors, right? I know one of them that I got from the book that was, I think it was, and don't quote me on this, was it Laughlin and Associates, or it was there was a entity that he would say, hey, go set up, do business with them. Here are the requirements for them in order to establish a profile or whatever, get net 30 or net 60 credit. This company specifically in the book he mentioned, they went over your corporate minutes. They went over to make sure, that was what they did, the services they offered on credit, and then you just had to pay them up and build up your profile. So it was a trade line. So yeah, that's definitely a book that I would suggest all serious business owners. And that if you're not serious about it, just forget it. Just forget I just said that. But if you really want to get like some sauce, you want to get you something that's going to help set you apart, and yeah, that's a definite must read.
Yeah. What about you, bro? What do you think is a great book? Corey? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Did I lose you guys?
Yeah, I mean,
I got baby screaming in the background.
What do you think, man? Probably one of the good books that you have read as far as credit is concerned.
No, that's actually a good one there that he mentioned. So everybody needs to go out and get that book. But it's a lot of books out there on business credit. But you have to go out and educate yourself up front and make sure that you're following the right procedures and so on and so forth. So I would encourage anybody to go and do your homework.
I got another one. I got another one we're gonna provide some value with. I'm actually in the middle of reading this now. I don't know if is it? No, it's not. It's called Credit
We just
Stacking.
see a face. We can't
Yeah,
see
my bad. It's the let me see if I can take my virtual background off. I guess not. I don't know.
It's all good. What's the title?
But it's called Credit Stacking by Jack McCall.
Credit Stacking.
Yeah, it's and he goes in depth as far as creating relationships with different financial institutions. Starting off on personal credit, because that always makes it easier to acquire business credit when your personal credit is right. But yeah, it's just definitely a good read, a lot of valuable, applicable information. So
we're talking about this, this business credit, man. Personal credit too. with business credit as well. So you new people out there, entrepreneurs, even the people who's been doing it for a long time. This is something that can take your business to that next level. Because a lot of people, man, run out of probably cash flow or whatever the case is, right? Money coming in at that time. Why not do a net 30 or a net 60? Because you worked on your business credit and you were able to do that, you know what I'm saying, in them tough times or whatever the case is. So it'd be very beneficial, man, to start that immediately. And I'm talking about myself here, right? So I've been doing it for a minute and I haven't even really touched on that yet. So I need to get on that immediately, man.
And get with a credit person or somebody that knows, because I think Curtis said it and Leverage said it. There's things you have to do to mark it off. I help coach. I work with somebody that has credit repair, so I help create some of the content and some of them guides. So I'm a little familiar with. I'm not executing it, but I know a lot more about credit than I ever thought I would. the good and the ugly. The ugly is surprising.
Yeah.
But once you get out of your feelings, then you're okay.
Yeah.
So Curtis, how did it work with you, man? To begin that person in their business credit, what can they do?
I mean, we kind of talked about it, man. You just got to get all your ducks in a row, man. Go and educate yourself. Get all the books. You would definitely want to surround yourself with the right people, man, because establishing business credit, when you jump out of the gate, you want to be able to rock, to rock and roll. So it's really not a lot of time to dilly dally. Get with the right people, man. Again, read the right books, get the right education. And if you don't know, definitely it's worth asking all the right questions up front, because there's so much going on out there, man. You could get steered in the wrong direction. So I would encourage people to, research is key.
Yes.
Yes.
Research is going to be key. So, there's nothing wrong with getting a second and third opinion if you're not comfortable with the information that you're getting. Go out and ask more questions, man. Because I know when I got into the business, 20 some years ago, man, it just didn't sound right. So I had to do a lot of due diligence and ask a lot of questions and get around the right people, man, and figure out what did I need to do to educate myself. So when I became ready, I was ready. So anything that I was able to tackle, and tackle it from an educational perspective, and be able to, with my clients, man, give them the good and bad and the ugly, so they understand, which direction they need to go. So I don't believe in sugarcoating. I'm gonna tell you just like it is. You take that information and you have to dissect it and use what pieces of it that's going to be beneficial for you. But I think it's very important to get all the pieces, man, and then you can kind of peel back the onion and you be able to use that information. But again, it's just about educating yourself and just make sure you don't move too fast that you lose, you lose sight of all the things that are important to make sure that your business is going to strive and be successful.
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is what suffocates us. I mean, a lot of times we get to that point, man, to where we, if we had that extra little booth or a little credit or whatever the case is, man, we can take it to the next level. But a lot of times we don't take the time to focus on that part of it, and we kind of get choked and we don't go no further. If not, we may suffocate and die behind it. You know what I'm saying? So take your time now, get it all set up now, learn about it now. So when you're in that position to where you can utilize that, take to the next level, you're ready to go.
Right.
And I'm gonna put my Sheila hat on because I've talking to a number of people. They're scared of credit. Yeah. And they think it's bragging rights to, I don't need credit. I got cash. I got cash. I ain't worried about credit. I got cash. But there's so much that has been built off of credit. If you have good behaviors and practices and discipline about yourself, then take advantage of, because it's a ladder to help you reach new heights. Like, I feel like people have very negative context because they don't have the personal discipline. And I'm speaking about myself because I personally trashed my credit intentionally back in my 20s, because literally I was like 22 and I'm like, well, I don't feel like, I ain't planning on buying no house no time soon, so whatever. And I just stopped paying all my credit cards. I just let it burn to the ground because, you know, you got the options. You do bankruptcy or you can do the magic 7-year fall off. I picked the magic 7-year fall off, but it actually happened. And when it happened, I was like, because I was just living my life. I wasn't even paying attention. And then the stuff slow. I had put effort into trying to do better though. Like once I destroyed it and I got to a point where I was like, okay, now I got to get it back. And I was slowly building it back up little by little on my own without the help of anybody else. And then the stuff started falling off. And I said, oh, wait a second. And that's when I bought my house. So, but I wouldn't recommend that.
You one of the few that actually was successful with that process. I mean, because
but again, I started when I was 22. So, like, you know, if you're above the age of 22, I wouldn't have recommended.
You had some time to rebuild,
yeah,
right?
I mean, and it goes back to the mindset of the individual, and that's why I said I want to put my Sheila cap on, because a lot of people, I had no intention of buying a home. I had no intention of starting a business. I had no intention of doing anything other than just working. And so that's part of the motivation as to why I did that, because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have goals. I was living. I was just moving through life. And so it worked. But take care of your credit, because that whole bankruptcy thing, it is just a mess that I've seen other people go through, and it just causes just more problems than people realize.
It does.
But
I want to say, like, with that, based off what you said, and it goes back to education, because here's the thing, and that's specifically for our people, when we know something is supposed to be ours, right? When you know something is yours, whether it be the right to be able to do something, or you know, a piece of property, whatever the case is, you're gonna exercise that, and you're gonna be damned if somebody does something to take it from you. So this is another resource. It's a book called Bankrupt the Bureaus by Umar Clark and Muhammad Clark. They go by the Bureau Bullies. They do a wonderful job of educating and really helping explain what your rights are. I know that there was an Experian breach that they went on. You can go on their social media and see they were talking about it, and he was given the rundown of, all right, here's their privacy policy. Here's what applies to you. Here's what you should be calling, because this shouldn't have happened. So it goes back to, if I know that this is supposed to be mine, right? I know this is within my rights to be able to do it. If you know it, you're gonna exercise on it. You know, you knew better, you do better.
Yep.
And that's the main reason why I'm trying to share as many of these resources out here, because on the other side of the spectrum, you got to understand, people do share information. They do put their folks on. They do, you know, pull their people aside and, here, are you ready to do better? If you're ready to do better, let me sit down and let me give you some real information.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we talked a little bit about the business credit, right? So how you know, when you're operating with the business credit, and you know, let's say you had a bad couple of months, or whatever the case is. Let's say you lose your company or whatever. That's not personally held responsible in that situation. Am I saying that right, Curtis? You going based
That's
off?
correct. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got those two you have that entity separated.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't, you know, fall prey to, you know, any liabilities associated with your personal life or your personal social or your personal, you know, interest versus the business. So that's why it's always good to keep those separated. And we can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
That we have to keep those separated. And I think it's very important that he mentioned, man, it's all about education.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can jump out there and think everything is great and get yourself in a bunch of trouble, you know, because you didn't dot all your I's and cross all your T's before you jumped out there and tried to make it happen, man. So, you know, I can't stress it enough, man. You know, that education is gonna be paramount.
Yeah.
And make sure it say non-personal guarantee. NPG, you know, make sure that because, you know, in a lot of cases, and this is just what I've learned from my own educational experience and things that I've seen, people who will get some credit and they be like, well, why they do this? They only, they still on my personal. Did it say NPG? Did it say that it was a non-personal guarantee? So it just go, be on the lookout for that, because that's the thing. They could still offer something that's considered business credit, but still tie it to your personal credit.
Yeah.
And that just varies on the lender, whoever it is you talking to that you're trying to get a line of credit from, their procedures, what they will or won't let happen, and also what you know to say to that person that you talk to or whatever representative to make sure you get it done. So once again, it's always good to sit down and talk to somebody like Curtis, or somebody who takes the time and specializes in these things, to look for those minor details to say, all right, well, I don't want you to walk into the forest and think you walk into the beach. That ain't it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One thing about entrepreneurs, man, we always have something else on the side, or something that we see that we would like to try, but because of maybe finances or whatever the case, we're not able to do it. So imagine if you had some business credit where you can push that payment out about six for what 2 months or something like that, right? 60 days or whatever the case is. And you can go ahead and try and invest some of that money. You know, it's a benefit to it, guys. And I know a lot of people who are gonna listen to this and it's gonna go around their head, and maybe 5 years down the line they were like, man, I remember hearing that years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them guys who did it. I'm like, I wish I'd have did it then. You know what I'm saying? But it's no better time than the present. You do it now, man.
That's the key.
Look, we can all agree that if somebody told you tomorrow that they was gonna give you a bank to own, you would be like, "Oh, cool, that's a good idea, right?" Like, I'm cool with that. If somebody, Curtis, Danielle, Jay, if somebody gave you a bank tomorrow, and said this is your bank and this is your asset that you're just gonna be bringing in money for, you be good with that, right? I'm pretty sure everybody that listens to this would be okay with it.
Absolutely.
Guess what? Banks move off of OPM, other people's money. When you put that money in that savings account, you getting point whatever, whatever percent.
Man,
You
what?
know
And
what
they
I'm
over
saying?
there killing it with 15, 20, 30% returns. But here's your
Yeah, I
little
mean, you got to think they put money in life insurance, they loan money out, they put it in, you know what I'm saying, they hedge in with forex, they put it in real estate, and even when they loan the money out, right? This is just is again is look, use somebody else's funds if you are in a position where you have a plan and
yes.
it's a solid hypothesis on how you're gonna get this money back, a solid if then statement.
Yes, but that is the very big key, because we can say all this stuff, but you cannot lose sight of that mindset. So it's exactly what you said. If you ain't ready,
Yeah.
don't do it. If
Mm-hmm.
you can't manage $100, you can't manage 1,000. If you can't manage
You got it.
1,000, you can't
You got
manage
it. You got
10,000.
it.
Boom.
You
So if
got it.
you're
You
not
got it.
ready,
You
get
That dropped
yourself
my.
there.
That's
got it. You
Because
got
you
it.
can still have the business, you can still work your business, but that next level, you better be working towards getting that discipline down, getting that structure down, so you can take it to the next level. I mean, because some people are fine with just having a business that gets them by. You know what I'm saying? Like the auto place down the street that's been there for 100 years. That's just, they live and work and die there. You know what I'm saying? But if you got something a little bit bigger, then that business credit is what's
Yeah,
gonna, like you said, help. But without the discipline, it'll
And the
be,
mindset.
you go,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
clinking again with this. You
I
just
mean, I'll tell you earlier. I told you I told Jay I was just coming back from an event, and I was it was an event where the guy, he was main speaker. He was a franchise consultant, and so he helped people buy franchises. And then even deeper than that, he helped businesses become franchises. So, if you're a business owner right now, right, or you're just trying to get started and you're thinking, it's good to think of an exit strategy.
oh yes.
Something that you may think of is, why I would franchise this business out. A lot of the businesses we see, the oil change spots, the check cashing spots, um, If you live in the Metroplex, you probably seen, the little Nestle Toll House cookies. Those are, franchises. Chick-fil-A's, I've heard they're not the best of franchises, but franchises nonetheless.
Got a lot
McDonald's,
of rules.
yeah, they have rules and limitations. And I don't want to get on that, but it's the main thing is that,
They
as
can't get
far
their
as,
sandwich on Sunday, huh?
yeah,
Look, no, I know what he's
nah.
talking about because I talked to somebody who actively tried to get one, and he was just like, "You almost got to sign away your right arm or something just to get a damn franchise with
Well,
you."
one of the things I found out is that you don't own the building. If I'm correct in what my guy Rudy had told me, you don't own the building.
And don't you got to work there?
You just run.
Yeah,
You just
you're
run
just
the
a
You own
qualified
it. You gotta work
employee.
there
You're
too.
just
Yeah.
you just an
a
employee.
well-paid.
You're not even
You just get paid good for being around chicken all day. That's basically
So
put it simply.
exactly.
But
So
I heard that same thing, man.
yeah. So, but I'm saying that
Which
in
the
the same
money's in the
sense,
real estate.
but I'm saying in the same sense as a business owner, right? If you have a business, and this is to anyone that's listening to this right now, and your business does two things: it makes money and it's duplicatable. Um, the thought of a franchise may be something worth looking into because as far as exit strategies go, usually you get paid residually off of the people using that idea and making money off of it on a regular basis. So when you talk about business credit and all these other things, like it's really just a means to that exit strategy, and that's really one of the most important things to keep in mind. What are you doing this for? Why are you
my
doing
question.
this?
That is
That was
one of
exactly my
the
question.
biggest things I preach.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it's
What is the pivot plan? What is the growth plan? What's the expansion plan? What's the goal here? Where we
and it
headed?
needs to be something you want. It does not need to be, I mean, yeah, it needs to help people. Yeah, because obviously this business is an interpersonal thing.
Yeah.
But, I'm saying this because a lot of people that I've talked to, because I do insurance, I do trust. We work on a lot of different things, but if people come up to me and they want to work with me, but it's not because they have a real applicable, thing that they want to utilize this for. I'll help somebody create a retirement income with a life insurance policy. I'll show you how to create a whole banking system using your own personal banking system. But if you're not interested in that, all you want to do is just say, "Oh, I got a business, I got an LLC, I got a life insurance policy." Well, what are you getting out of it? What are you using it for? How is it benefiting you other than
Intention. So
yeah?
yes,
What
if action without intention is just a waste of time.
a
If you
complete
don't
waste
have an
of time.
intention for yourself, for your money, for your business,
Yeah.
take a step back and reevaluate.
So all
Please
the
do so.
other new entrepreneurs that's going to jump on this, that's going to listen or hear what we have to say, right? You want to make sure that you're, keep your eyes on the end goal. What's your exit strategy, right? And build your business to fit that, to get you in that position to where you can accomplish that goal down the line. Now, if it's to keep it and pass down to your grandson, or your kids, or whatever
That's
the
an
case,
exit strategy.
that's a great thing too. That's an exit strategy, like
That's
you
a
said. That's an exit
that's an
strategy.
exit strategy.
That is it.
You know,
But if it's to
it's literally
sell
because when
on
you
over the
turn,
market, you got to build it. You build it that way, right? So
Yes.
yeah.
very important. But listen, you guys ran through all my questions. I got to get more questions. So
Let me. I
y'all,
want to
I'm
go
sure
in. Let
he
me
can
get to the cheat
expand. We were
codes.
trying to hold off. We weren't sure how many questions you had, but
yeah.
we can go into the
No,
rabbit holes
I'm
on
about
each
to
of them.
give the cheat code.
Let me kind of capture real quick though. So we start off with the LLC, how to set up an LLC. We went through that, right? We did the EIN number. Well, it's important to. We talking about doing like a, to set up your EIN number and all that stuff, your LLC, how to do it, what you don't have to go and get your high price attorney to do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We talked about the taxes and all that stuff when it comes to LLC, the operation agreement. We talked about that as well. All the way down to what we finished off talking about exit strategies, right? So it's kind of, you came in to get that information. There it is right there, man. Take that and go with, do what you have to do with it. So now we're gonna
Oh
jump
no,
into
this
some other
the
things.
best is here's the thing. You could take that stuff, but that's after if you stick tuned to the end of this, you'll be grateful
Yes, sir.
because now I'm about to
Let's
go
go.
to we're about to get to the nitty gritty
Let's
of it
go. Let's go.
because here's the thing. Most of the people who promote LLCs and S corps and things like that are lawyers. And as I stated before we got on live, most lawyers have zero incentive to explain title privacy. They need transparency to find your assets. In a lot of cases, the very same person who helps you set up your business, if they were paid by another client and they don't represent you, or there's no, conflict of interest that would affect their license, they'll gladly help this other person find your information if
Exactly.
they want to sue you, if it means going to be money for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like this. If you want to do business in the United States, you have to spend money, you have to spend time and resources filing the paperwork, paying the fees and the taxes, the registration fees, the franchise taxes, you just to have permission from the government so that way you can do business. This is one of the reasons why I'm usually against LLCs and S corps and C corps. The second issue that I usually have is that if you fail to follow all the rules, I touched on this earlier. If you fail to follow all the rules and regulations, you pierce the corporate veil and you lose those legal protections that's the whole reason why you got the entity. And then the last part is the fact that, once you register this LLC or this corporation, whatever, your information, the names, addresses, phone numbers, this is all accessible to the public now.
Man.
You're an easy target. So
Yeah.
we just talked about we wanted to escape liability. We wanted to, protect ourselves from, potential vultures who would see, oh yeah, this guy's doing good. Oh, I see Curtis over there eating. Wait a minute, Curtis got some money. That brother
Because
he got a new
the
truck,
Yeah.
got a
vultures
new
will
beach
come.
house. Oh yeah. I'm about to go in Curtis store. He gonna pull an easel on you.
Oh,
My neck
Mind
is
back, mind back.
yeah, but it is some states though, right? That the LLCs is the way they
There's
have
some
those
that
set
are.
up, it gives you more protection, right? From my understanding.
Yeah,
It-
it does.
yeah,
They have some anonymity, but
yeah,
in the end of the day, and of course this doesn't always apply, especially in the internet age. But most people, and Danielle, you work with business owners. That's one of your things. Is most people will tell you if you're going to register a business, register in the state that you're actually doing business in.
mhm.
So if you're setting up setting up shop here in Texas and you just heard somewhere, oh yeah, in Delaware they da 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 da, you just set up a shop, you set up shop in Texas. Texas is gonna want that much. Wait a minute. Your address says this. You getting mail here. Yeah, we know that's where you quote unquote set up, but now you're was it a foreign entity? It's because I think it's foreign for another state, alien for another if someone's from another country.
Country. Yeah.
Uh so these are just all these things that you need to be aware of because if you are a goal oriented person and you do reach these goals and you do reach this point where you're trying to get to, you've just shot yourself in the foot.
yeah,
um Something that I'm just going to just get into and just say is that a lot of my clients, they'll use trust. They'll do the JD Rockefeller way, which is own nothing and controlling everything. So when I broke down that there's equitable interest, there's beneficial interest, and there's title, you know, these are gonna the ultra wealthy people remove title. It's like that old this if let's just say somebody a husband owes something, what I'm saying, and he move it to his wife's name so that way they don't try to get into it's like that, but it's just legal.
yeah, absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
a legal situation. So
You say own nothing but
uh,
control everything.
own nothing but control everything, because if you own it you can get sued and it can get taken.
Yeah, but you can
And
control it.
but you
Something
but,
totally
but you can
different.
control it.
Yeah,
you know that's one of the strategies that the ultra wealthy, that you'll never know who all the limited partners are in these large corporations.
yeah,
But if you knew that these limited partners are actually trusts, So there is a trust structure rather than it being an LLC or an S corp that you'll see somebody say, "Oh yeah, well this S corp on this LLC." No, 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 no.
Yeah.
They don't do it because it goes because these are the people who can afford the CPAs that read the other
All the
80% of the tax code.
I was just about to say because there is a million tax laws.
Yeah, there's like 4,000. I work with a company out here in the Metroplex called Nexus International, and they are a team of attorneys, CPA, trust CPAs, trust accountants, and IRS enrolled agents. Um, and of course, I have some things in the tax code, of course, dealing with life insurance that I have to be aware of. But just being around them just lets me know like so much more. Like when it comes to estate taxes, when it comes to creating a taxable event, because that's how these people literally they minimize their what they actually owe.
Absolutely.
There's a simple strategy. If I make this specialized trust, it's an irrevocable trust with specific provisions, and all provisions mean that the wording in it gives it certain powers under our right our common law right to create contracts. So as long as I made this trust, it specializes according to tax code and case law, I'm gonna make it the limited partner to my LLC. If I make it the limited partner to my LLC, according to the IRS, one investor can claim up to 90% of a business's income. So let's just say, Jay, you got a business or whatever, you get done paying your expenses, you get done paying your employees and payroll and everything else, and now you've netted like let's just say 100,000, right? Traditionally, that's just what you're gonna have to pay taxes on.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying with on the other side of the spectrum, what they'll do is they'll make the trust a limited partner. So now I have to pay 90,000 to this trust that I'm the trustee of.
Yeah.
So that means I don't own I don't own nothing, but you control everything. So now when I have to pay my tax bill and I got to go to the IRS, well, they're saying, well, well, we're looking at your balance sheet and you paid out your investor, and this is the key part. You paid an investor, you didn't take deductions. So if you're trying to go get funding, it doesn't show on your balance sheet that you took losses. It shows that you paid out all the debts that you owed.
Boy, this is next level here.
I'm about to say he over here
Right
giving
here,
away
though.
$1 million game. You
That's
Oh
better
how
no,
it's
this
done, though. That's exactly how it's done, too. You know
that's
what
how it's done.
I'm saying?
And so if I, and so they
It's a
can so
cold
they
game.
more people need to be talking about
Yeah.
this. So I'm
It,
glad
it's
you're
even
talking about because
deeper.
this is
but
one of the things that I've wanted to know is
yeah.
what is that veil, that thing? Because when you try to Google it, man, like you said, you gotta go digging in books and you gotta know the right people to talk to.
But
And
real,
we
real estate,
happen to have one of the right people right here, so that's
It's
amazing.
because most of these are for land trust,
yeah, real,
like a land trust, or for agriculture
yeah,
or oil. Like when we out here in Texas, it's mostly that old that because if you got you in the agriculture, you in the cattle, livestock or whatever. That's long money. That's
yeah,
old
yeah,
long money. So we're talking about a whole different set of laws that are antiquated probably in comparison to other businesses that are in comparison to the laws for if I got a farm, that's completely different than if I just got some internet startup.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
It's a completely different thing. So
Yes.
the type of identification numbers that assistance you can receive from the government, you know it's a different type of thing. So that's how I started working with some people who these are the type of clients that they service. They really help some old wealthy people uh, be able to not create taxable events, to be able to put their assets inside of structures that were compliant with case law and the tax code, but still where you couldn't go online and find anything that these entities didn't want put out. You couldn't go and say, "Oh, I'm going to go sue this guy" or whatever the case is. Yeah. And this is just my speculation. This is a speculation. Please don't hold this to be true. I believe that I remember at that point in time where 50 Cent was like, "I'm broke. I'm broke." I believe that at that time, it's just my own personal theory. He learned what I learned and what I'm telling you all about
We,
the
we
inside.
know he wasn't broke. We know he
You
wasn't broke.
knew he wasn't
We knew
broke.
he wasn't broke.
But
We
like you
know he
said,
wasn't put
if
all
you
that,
ain't got
bro.
your
But wait,
stuff
wait, wait.
set up,
But
he
he may
might
be.
be broke.
But the way he has,
We,
as she said,
he
if
controlled everything, right?
You
and
We
MC
know
Hammer
he
out here,
controlled
you know.
everything. Yeah,
it's cool.
yeah.
But here's the other thing that goes into that is we talked about, oh, I earned, I worked hard, I got this house, I got this, these cars, I got these other things. The trust is what, that's how these rich guys play it. These super ultra wealthy, the trust will own these assets.
Mhm.
So if I just sent 90,000, 90% of that net income to this trust, there's a lot of people that ask me, they'll be like, well, how do your bills get paid? Well, if the trust got the income and the trust owns, what I'm saying, the house, the trust owns the car, I still get to have beneficial interest in it. I still get to have the beneficial interest and even the equitable interest. I just don't have the title.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Listen, what
go
he's
ahead.
saying is legal. It's not illegal. It's legal when he's paying the game.
It
That's
is.
what it is because he paid the game better than most people do. You can't listen. That's how Donald Trump was able to pay a lot less money than
Yeah,
everybody else did.
I go back to that
You know what
all
I'm
the
saying?
time. Don't
Yeah,
get mad at these
they
people.
get mad.
Figure out what they're doing because
Yeah.
it is perfectly legal. And I hate when people, oh, that ain't right. That ain't. No, learn why the Mitt Romneys and all these presidents and all this whatnot don't pay no taxes or their taxes like $10 or something stupid small. There's a reason.
Speaking,
There's a method to that.
Yeah.
That
speaking,
is what they're utilizing. It is perfectly legal, and I feel like that's what people need to hear.
but they get
It's
the opposite.
legal.
But that's the thing. Most people will get the opposite. And like I'll tell, and I hope everybody just hears me out on this. S corps are horrible for a business owner. You got into you wanted to own a business to have access to pre-tax dollars. When you adopt an S corp, you are guaranteeing that you have to pay taxes. You're guaranteeing that because you take a W-2 income.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah. That's the
guaranteeing
worst
it.
thing to do.
That's the
Right?
worst thing to do. You
It's
can't
the worst thing to
even
do.
even I listed a way where you don't have to take deductions, but even if you were doing deductions, you were doing cost segregation, these advanced methods in order to try to lower your tax bill. Um, people are like, oh, well, take this reasonable income and this, that, and the other. You just took a reasonable income and paid a reasonable tax on it too, when actually this could have been avoidable.
Yeah. See that's my goal. See, that's why I still got. I've been trying to. I got to make some
Figure it out.
time for him because that's my goal. How do
Trust,
you get net
trust, yeah.
zero?
Trust is a cold game, man.
Oh,
Taxes
it's
is
a
a
it's a
whole game.
it is a code. I'll give, what I'm saying, I'm gonna give it's another gem. It's a book if you wanna read and learn. It's called The Uncorporation. It is by James Billings.
We're gonna have a whole
It's a
reading
it's
list.
a yeah, it's one of those books to where, it'll list a lot of the issues that I explained about having these traditional structures that we're told about. It lists some of the issues that you'll find when you adopt them and the problems that could be avoided if you only knew another option.
We need to get this book club back going on, man. Because these
I
some great
told you
books.
that, bro. Man, look,
I'm
I
with
got
it,
a
bro.
I got a library, man. I like literally.
Look, we can do a book club once a
All
month,
right, I can do it now,
online,
Jay.
on
I
Zoom
couldn't
or
do it
whatever.
before.
Let's get it popping, man. You know what I'm saying?
I can
I'm
do
with
it now. So there you go.
that. What you think,
Yeah,
Curtis?
hey man, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. Anytime. I know
yes, sir.
you got those gems, man, coming through. Listen, man, this information, man, is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I think this is exactly what I wanted to happen. You know what I'm saying? We talk about some stuff, man, so people can take away and build their business up, man, change their lives, man, and build that wealth, because that's what we all, we come in this game for, right? But at the same time,
Hey,
man, we get some information away to some people, man. Like one of my thing is, man, is anybody who come on has to have a heart of a teacher, man. You got to be willing to give some people some game, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying give them everything that you know, right? A lot of that stuff is proprietary. That's how you feed your family. But what you can
Nah,
give, man. You know what I'm saying?
man, look, these books that people are, that's one of the worst things. I can't stand somebody who won't even reference a book because you feel like you need to hoard that information. Because
People,
90%
people,
of the people that
people
you
do
tell
it
about
though.
it ain't even gonna read it.
Now, but you
90%.
know
Exactly.
what?
You,
Just
I
tell
just
them.
told so many people how to wholesale, bro, and that just don't work. I'm like, how's it not working for you, bro? And I'm doing it every day, and it's working. You know what I'm saying? It's like it don't make no sense, bro. It don't make no sense. People just they don't have it, man.
It's
We
because
give it to
not
you right now.
everything is for everybody. Not
Yeah.
everybody got the same level of understanding of the speed of comprehension and
I'm
whatnot.
gonna say it
But
better. People is belief.
open-mindedness, there's a difference
As
between being
belief.
closed-minded and open-minded.
True.
I personally feel like it, and it's not even just to contradict, but to build on what you said. I think it's belief. It's the simple fact that what is your a lot of people just believe that they have a low capacity for things. Oh, I can't do this. I can't
Yes.
walk and chew gum at the same time. Like it's people who believe so many limiting things about themselves that why can't you live the life you want to? You ain't gonna never get rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. You never get what you never wanted.
Hmm.
True, man. See? And
Never.
that's why we do the Shaping Solutions podcast, because try to remove those barriers, unlock people's potential, start those conversations, and give people tips and whatnot, because it goes back to mindset. That was one of the topics we touched on, is the beliefs you put in your head. It's not even common beliefs, it's your belief. Oh, I go outside during a thunderstorm, I'm gonna get struck by lightning. That's your belief. What does the facts say? What does the science say? What is the
Most of it
likelihood?
is dogma. That's the
Oh
scary part
God,
is
yes,
is
yes.
dogma. Is I like it's between dogma and there's a book, another book. I'm gonna drop another one. It's called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And he said in the book, just paraphrasing, most of us believe that our relationship with like money and things like that is based on like what we've gone through, our parents. But he states that that's not necessarily the case. The biggest influencer is actually the time period that we live in. So if I grew up in the Great Depression in the 20s or whatever, when that huge, 30s when the stocks dropped, I'm probably not going to be willing to really invest in stocks like that. But if
Yeah.
I'm a millennial, I was born in '89. Uh, people who
We
were
the
born
silicone
around
startup boom. Like
yeah. So we were the
Yeah.
last
all we see
generation
is
to actually
potential.
have tapes and be outside when the street light came on and all that jazz. But then at the same time, the test subjects for social media, the first people with flip phones and smartphones, and what I'm saying, just in between there, we've seen the housing crisis in '08, and I was graduating high school in '07. Worried about the girl that just dumped me. I ain't know nothing about. I ain't know nothing. I ain't know nothing about
That's
what's
what
going
I'm
on
saying.
in the house.
Curtis back then, bro. Right before the house burst, man.
I know, right?
This company at that
That's one.
time.
That's a
Yeah.
real good point I want to piggyback off of, because it is how you're impacted does impact. Because like for me, the industry that I was working in during the recession, during the pandemic, we didn't stop. So I was confused. It's like, why are there so many businesses stopping? We didn't stop 1 week. And I know that was not the case, and I understand the factors, but there was only a hump. But what did it in was, unfortunately, them handing money out. That's what killed the people, because there were businesses still going, still there. But as soon as they started handing out checks, well, why I need to go to work? And that's what started this domino effect. And I mean, of course, there are tons of other factors, but just like a high level. But I think that's a good point. Going back to it
But
is what
even
you live through. And that's why I see, why can't you make your business recession proof, pandemic proof, all of that, and put those structures in place? Because there's so many people that thrive during pandemics and recessions and all of that other stuff. When people are,
most
oh my
fortunes are
God, what am I
made.
going to do during the pandemic? What am I going to do during the recession? Make money.
Most fortunes are made during those times. But just like I was saying, I I got an associate of mine who has a group of people that they trade, and the people in this group, I work in financial services, so whenever I'm always looking and not judging, but gauging the suitability, risk tolerances, and I'm comparing it to some of the stuff I've read, and I'm noticing, yeah, usually the younger somebody is, you've lived through and you witnessed Bitcoin being worth jack squat to being worth $60,000 to now was teetering between 18 and 22 or $23,000 for one coin. That when you see that, your mindset is going to be different. And so we have a lot of people in our generation that are now wanting to be entrepreneurs that are like, they still have a lot of these limiting beliefs that
Yes.
that maybe they were had, but then they have this belief that I can get out of it real quick because I've seen the downside. Yeah, okay, 2008, that was bad. I was partying in Dougieing in 2000.
You
I,
wasn't
I was in the Rack Daddy and Stanky Leg in
yeah.
2008. What you talking about?
I don't know what y'all talk. Look, I feel it because I was a year out of college and I was working in manufacturing, and that was actually the year I made some of the most money because I was working every day because I was in an industry that didn't stop. So, like he said, your experience is like the '08, the bubble burst. Nobody I knew had a house, so
Yeah.
I don't know how that
I'm
impacted
moving
people.
into a dorm. I got it. I'm moving
Yeah,
into.
like I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment, living my best life without no kids. So
Man, look, I drink MD 2020 back then. Man,
Oh, we
it
going
was.
please
way
don't
back,
say
I'm
man.
that,
telling
man.
you,
Don't,
That's
look,
the
don't
way.
man.
let the
Look,
people
I was
out
a
on the
young
streets, man.
college student. I had no concept of what was going on. So now, like, and that's why, when I got into the professional world, as time went on, and I'm noticing that, like, I'm anxious and I'm like want to go start businesses and I want to take these different efforts, and then I'm noticing that, okay, some of my coworkers, the older people that I had associated with that were like had the same mindset that I had, they were mentors in the space of entrepreneurship. But
Yes,
I had to quickly understand that if I met some of these, some of my elders at the workplace, yeah, bro, don't you say nothing to them. They're gonna shoot everything down. Oh, what you trying to
yes,
trade? Yo, don't lose all your money. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh
Eh,
man,
eh,
what?
you trying to do this? I don't know about all that. But and once again, it's different strokes, different folks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the people that I could lean on outside of that, they were in the situation, like you, Jay, with what I'm saying, the situation I come ask, all right, well, here, look, let me show you what we do is bird dogging, right? This is
Mhm.
this is what it's called. Here's some other ways you could get money. You in your area, go talk to the mailman. Go see if he knows some houses that's ran down. That's the type of information that you're getting in that time. But a lot of it is, still just based on that, because I know you're a little bit older than me, but even in that time, it
Yeah.
was like people were still winning. It was still even though
Good.
things were bad, it was still the situation where,
And I'm a
of course.
I want to flip this subject real quick to kind of to show you how my mind works, because what he just said is an excellent way to gauge who you want to work with or who you're going to have working for you. Like I said, I will come from a corporate environment. I hate the interview questions. They're worthless. Like they don't gauge anything. Like I never found outside of how do you deal with conflict. Outside of that, because the stories are typically hilarious. Outside of that question, I can't stand any of them because it doesn't speak to the person, the mindset, their intention. Why do you want to be here? Why are you going to come when you're tired, when you're sick, when you don't feel like being here? And I think that is a very good point of reference to understand what has this person been through. Because I've had that conversation. I forgot who I had that conversation with, because when you interact with some people that don't have enough perspective on things, they can have very limited views and beliefs. And if you're partnering with them in business, or
Yeah.
you're hiring them in, when you get to the point, okay, I'm bringing in employees, who are you bringing in? but when you said that, that's where my mind went. It's not only from this is a point where entrepreneurship is going to boom because our generation is coming in and we like, yeah, that old way ain't hitting no more at all. And it's only going to get worse moving forward. But then take a step back as entrepreneurs. If you want to grow your business, eventually you're going to have to hire people. And so you're going to have to take that into consideration when you start growing and expanding and bringing people in. But using your business as a point of change to change some of the narratives, that's something that I want to do. I spent way too much time. I understand politics and whatnot, but the amount of corporate politics and amount of just that happens, especially to people of color, like
it's high school. It's like high school for old for man. My man,
high school for old people.
Yeah. It is. I feel like I'm probably the one that spent the most time in corporate. It is high school.
You probably did.
High school.
You probably look. I worked at United Way through an internship over the summer of my freshman year at PV, and it was awesome. But I'll also say that I got a job that somebody who was there wanted their niece to get, and the amount of drama that ensued because of that, because I'm pretty sure they didn't expect Jonathan Smith to look like me.
Yes.
So I got this. Yeah, like
name. I'm a Smith
it got to the point when I got back to school. And one of my old former coworkers had told me there was somebody that went to HR about something, man. I was like, did they know that I was just an intern and that I don't plan on coming back? But that was enough for me. That was enough for me at that time. I'm like, I'm just 18 and I know I just got a job or an internship you wanted your niece to get. But did you have to go create this drama?
Right.
Did you have to go?
And that's what I hope this boom of entrepreneurship will change. Is that dynamic? Because I had similar experiences. I became a supervisor when I was like 25, maybe. I was the youngest supervisor. So I'm young, a Black female. You think anybody want to listen to me?
Not at all.
Like I had to learn how to navigate that in a manner because I'm already bottom of the totem pole. And every place that I went, I don't care what they say, that's how I was treated. Oh, you don't know nothing, you young, because I was always the youngest. I was the youngest supervisor. I became the youngest manager at the plant. And oh, you don't know nothing. And you got to sit there and wait for them to come around and realize, but why is it like this? And so I just hope, we're going, we slightly off topic, but we're really not, because, we're forming a business. What is the intention? What is the culture? What is the mission statement? Because I know we're not on that topic, but it all goes hand in hand. Like, and I hope this is my 2 pennies, is that all these businesses that are being formed are moving in a direction that's more inclusive, more based off of performance and facts, not like you said, high school politics. Yeah. I like them. I want them to get the job. No, is that person qualified?
Yeah, and even more so, back to the topic of, we were talking about business structures, and I'm not saying this because this is what I do, but I am saying it because it's what I do, because it's what I believe in.
Okay.
If you're in business, and I'm going to say this because I talk to a lot of, it's not all, but a lot of, Black business owners, is just treated like a hustle. And I'll mention and I'll start talking about taxes. And, when I talk about insurance, I don't speak on insurance in a typical fashion. I'm speaking on insurance from, hey, what if you had an alternative to a 401k or a SEP that you could use and we could pull money out of it before 59 and a half if need be, and not get penalized for it? Or, even use this as a way to create a golden handcuffs package for some key talent, key manager. And when I'm speaking about these things, sometimes even with people who I guess venture to say qualify financially, the mindset aspect of it. And
Mhm.
I just look like, what are you in business? I've literally had people who, they say they make, 5 figures a month, and I'm like, oh, well, do you know? Well, I think. I mean, I'm sure.
No,
I know we
see,
made that in July, and then in May. Well, if
Ooh-wee.
you made that about 2 months, then bro, you didn't average. You got to know where you are. You got to know what
Yes,
you know. You have to be in this to win it. And when you're
yes,
in it to win it, you are aware of your enemies, the enemies of your money. And I call them the pit, the PIT, that is paying interest, inflation, and taxes.
nice.
An honorable mention is market volatility. But those are the three things that if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're an investor, you're just a consumer, you got to worry about these three things.
Yes,
So, you know, and then we didn't even talk, we already mentioned the liability aspect. So if you're not putting yourself in a position to really win and to be aware of all the things that could be detrimental to your financial success, your financial freedom, whatever it is you want, the life you want your kids to have, or your family to have, if you're not aware of the things that could harm you from that, you don't care about, I don't mind. I don't care about taxes. I don't care. I'm telling you, I have
yes, you
heard some
do.
and I'm gonna call them dumb comments. I have heard some very dumb comments.
Ignorant.
These are very intelligent people who made
Oh,
some
okay.
very dumb comments,
Yeah.
and I know that's only out of, it's
Just
easier
I know.
to yeah, it's easier
because
to
sometimes
I feel like,
it's because there's ignorance and then there's willful ignorance. Where you're purposely not when people are trying to tell you something and nope, I don't want to listen. So I can see that because that's a point. For me, if I work with a business, if there's something I don't know, I'm going to tell you. I'm not the expert on that. You need to get a qualified person. I can help you screen these people. I can help you pose questions to this person to determine how qualified they are. But if it's something
shoot, I
I
help you
cannot help you
find
with,
them.
Yeah.
I help you find them. Yes, yes, I help you find them. If you don't know a person, I can help you find them. We can vet them. But that's so much power in knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, what you
Mhm.
don't know, because what you don't know will get you in trouble as a business
Do
owner.
that.
Yeah.
Do that.
And listen, we're not all you new entrepreneurs out there. We're not trying to scare you.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
trying to scare you.
I
Yes, we
I
are.
am.
What you're doing
We
is
are.
just
We
You just
are.
got you just got to be you just have to be just not be afraid to ask the questions. I mean,
yeah,
ignorance is not with me. Ignorance is that's a choice.
yeah,
You
Yes.
can choose to get the information or not get the information, but you not knowing when all the information is available, that's unacceptable.
yeah.
So
I'm
And
pretty
what I
sure
We
try to
walk
everybody
do
around
got a
with
is,
phone.
computers in our pockets.
if
Everybody
we're
got
not
a phone.
giving you the
Start with
whole
Google.
picture, that means we serving we giving you injustice or whatever the case is, right? We're not doing what we're supposed to do, right? So we giving you the whole picture, man. You got to look at
Yeah.
this whole thing when you first get into this game, man. There's a lot of pitfalls, man. There's a lot of different
But
things, man. You get your first check, and a lot of people just spend it and don't even think about the taxes, whatever the case is. You got to brace yourself for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Or they may get their first check and don't really run the business like they're supposed to, right? Before you know it, you got no clients lined up or in your pipeline. I was guilty of that, right? And now you got to start all over from scratch again, or whatever the case is. So just take your time, execute. Get the information, execute slowly, man, and you'll get to where you're trying to go. So reach out to some of these people that's on this panel right here, man, to get you right. You know what I'm saying?
We can
Curtis,
check
help
that
you
is
find
info.
the
you
information.
know what I'm saying? Business and rest. Tell everybody what you guys do again, man. We're gonna get off this good
We
thing
gotta
here, man.
start with Johnny, man. He the one that's been running the show today. Break
Yeah,
it down.
Yeah.
hey, Johnny dropping the jewels over there.
Hey,
Told
well,
you he
well,
was the guy to have on this show. You
Yeah,
did that,
yeah,
man.
we're right on time too. We're right on time.
well, I definitely
Tell everybody,
appreciate that.
tell everybody what you guys do and how to reach you guys, man.
Yeah. So I am a wealth strategist, a trust consultant, and a business advisor. Um, just put it shortly, I help businesses and investors and just people in general turn expenses into revenue and protect their assets, make their assets invisible, and really fight taxes. We eliminate capital gains taxes. As I explained, we have strategies to help business owners reduce their tax bill, up to 90%. We have a team of attorneys, accountants, professionals that have decades of experience, people who I lean on as teachers, and these are the people who we work with that help do these, implement these strategies. So you can reach us at enneadinfinite.com. It's right there, ENNEAD infinite.com. Just go on there, check out the videos, schedule a discovery call if you feel like you want to learn more. And I'm always glad to connect with people. So yeah.
Absolutely. Danielle?
Nice. I'm Danielle McArthur of DCDR Solutions. I'm an entrepreneurship small business coach. I focus on continuous improvement techniques, which focus on establishing the structural procedures and foundations of a business, making sure that it is repeatable and executable, along with being efficient. I have a lot of background in root cause analysis, so that's why I said if the problem comes up, it's my job to solve the problem, whether it is something that I can solve or we figure out who can solve the problem in the time frame that we need to. But yeah, strong preference for working with people with creatives, people with products, but I can also help people with services, no matter what the size of the business is, because it all boils down to simple things about efficiency and waste and yada, yada, yada in your process, your day-to-day. Time is money. That's what it boils down to. So if you're wasting time, you're not making money, or you're wasting money. So I help kind of audit that side of the business to try to give somebody an assessment to put things into perspective. Because when you're in it, sometimes you don't see it. And so you need somebody to come from the outside. This is why people get audited, because when you in it, you don't see it. And so that's kind of what I serve as, like an auditing body, essentially, where it's like, okay, wow, audit yourself before somebody else comes along and audits you. But from a standards and procedures side of things.
No. Well, I'm a real estate guy, residential, commercial, land, storage facilities, all that type of stuff, right? So also do the mentorship. So if you guys looking to get into real estate, man, in any capacity, let me know. If you need somebody to do whatever in real estate, I can point you to a person who does it, right? So reach out to me as well. But we also, in the midst of kicking off this, this podcast network as well. So we have a bunch of different shows that's on here. Definitely, man. If you listen to this, go ahead and hit that like button, share it, and subscribe it, man, and tune in. When they alert you, go ahead and get your questions ready. As you see, there's a wealth of knowledge that's on these different shows, man. So these guys are professional people, man, and they know what they're talking about, or they wouldn't be on here, right? Same with me. Like, I'm learning every day. So I wrote down so much stuff today, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to rock, man. So yeah, my little yellow pad is full. But also too, man, we got this thing here, a Patreon that we're doing. So if you're here in Dallas or in Texas, or whatever cases, you guys want to come check us out. So one time every month, once a month, we'll meet up at an undisclosed restaurant or something like that and just chop it up, man. With some business people.
Look, I'm gonna have to make a trip on.
Yeah.
Hey, I told you I got the plug on the spot.
You did. I hollered at Jason too. We're gonna get with you too, bro. We definitely get with you.
Yeah, just let me know. I got the manager on speed dial, so we get it going.
So not just not just real estate, but also any business that you do, man. You want to be around people who think like you, man. This is the spot to do it. We'll do it once a month, man. And come on out, man. Definitely come on out, man. And also, with our Patreon, weekly we'll be doing trainings, man. Like when we're doing a commercial deal, you'll have a seat at the table, meaning you'll be able to see us going through a commercial deal from beginning to end. If you see it, you want to learn about wholesaling, you'll be able to see us doing a wholesale deal from beginning to end. Be on the phone talking to different people, be able to see all that stuff. So definitely hit that button down there, guys. Join the Patreon, man. You'll be able to be able to be a part of that, man. So, and a lot of other things we got going on as well. So,
And to piggyback off of that, I'm gonna be showing people how to create their own banking system, so that way when you're doing these these deals that Brother Jay is speaking on, we can show you how to really minimize, how to get
come
more
head to head.
out of it.
Yeah.
How to be able to, we spoke on earlier. This is the last gem I'm gonna drop. So we spoke earlier on how people have to get, a lot of times it's smart to get multiple LLCs
Mhm.
for different properties. Well, the beautiful part about these trust structures that I spoke on, these trust structures can own multiple properties,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
if it's
yeah. You're right. You're right about that.
so you don't, so now you have one entity that you can easily, it goes and it buys the properties and it sells them and it handles everything on its own. And as long as the money does not leave the corpus, meaning it doesn't leave the body of the trust, meaning you don't pay the beneficiary,
Yeah.
it doesn't create a taxable event.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be showing you how to use
Absolutely.
life insurance as a bank. So yeah,
Let's do
it's just a whole wealth of knowledge. You definitely want to tune in to the podcast, to the Patreon. Every time there's an event, if you can be there,
Be there.
definitely want to make sure you can be
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
because we're gonna be giving value.
I forgot about that too. So hopefully take the show on the road here. Once you get a little bit going. I know you have that the different things that you got going on as well. Though hopefully we can come on out there. Maybe do the podcast from there as well, man. So there's some things that's happening, man. That behind the scenes we're gonna rock this thing too. And I gotta say this publicly. Last week, sat down with the what is it called advisors of the podcast, man, and they did like this. You know what I'm saying? They straightened me out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, man, it was the best. Look, I always tell you, man, I have no ego, right, at all, man. And if you tell me something I need to be doing that I'm not doing, man, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna implement it. So
it was all constructive criticism and
absolutely, I love it.
It must have been some tough love.
Yeah, man. Hold
on, wait a minute. So hold on, question. It was you and Sheila?
No, actually, because Sheila's in Africa right now. So it was
man.
me and you got to get tagged in, man.
Yeah. My wife straightened me out a little bit too, so I need to get some stuff together too. So
you just had black women all on you, bro. That's what it was. It was just all them black women. You know what I'm saying? Like you invaded Wakanda. You had black women on your behind.
It was a great thing, man. But this is how you grow, right?
Yes.
The person brings some information to you that can help you whatever you're trying to get done. It'd be crazy for me to say, you know what? Let me put it to the side. They don't know what they're talking about. No, because you just said a moment ago, I'm working in the network. I ain't working on the network. So it's some stuff that you guys are able to see that I can't see. And I'm so focused trying to put this together. I'm like, hold on, step back for a second. Let's look at it this way. I'm like, you know what? What they're saying is absolutely right. Let's implement it. Now, the way I showed it out that I'm serious about it, I'm implementing exactly what you guys said. Let's do it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think that's
get the growling at him. He started listening. Them lionesses got the growling.
But I think that's a good point for people to hear, because we don't know everything.
Yeah.
And there's always a time to take feedback, and you can always change. And one thing for me is, if you don't believe, just try it. Like you said, like you ain't even got to commit to it. If somebody takes the time, I had to tell my husband that if somebody gives you feedback, it's because they care. Mm-hmm. If you don't care, I'm not saying nothing to you. I'm not going to give you positive feedback, negative feedback. I'm not going to say anything. I think that's a part of our culture. So if somebody is actually giving you time, taking the time to give you well-worded, constructive criticism, then maybe you should, like Jay said, take a step back and figure out, why are they giving me this feedback? What did I do that if you don't agree with it? If you agree with it and you're open-minded, that's good. But if for some reason you don't agree with, take a step back and try and figure out why. Because maybe something you did came across and they did not have all the information. But I wanted to piggyback off of that because, you know, as new business owners, you have to be receptive to constructive feedback because you're not going to know everything. You're not going to get everybody right. And people are going to want to help you. But if you're not open to the help, like I said, I had somebody turn down free help when I was first getting started. Tell me how that makes sense.
People don't value stuff that they don't pay for. That's just
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you. I could have.
Unfortunately,
the stuff that I've told you all, right? And in most cases, now is what I usually do. If you want me to go in and break down how we can help your situation, usually charge now, because it's literally been about the only way. It's one of them psychological. So entrepreneurs, another gem, right?
There you go.
A lot of times, you know, you have to discern who you can provide value, and you have to look at it as a transaction. As much as people say don't look at it as a transactional thing, this is business. It's transactional. So if I'm giving information to you all, I'm giving information because I'm going to receive it back. I don't need to receive it in the form of monetary value. I'm going to receive it in the form of information and you know, of equal or greater value. Even in the form of alliances, for future opportunities. You know, I can help Jay set up a bank and Jay can come tell me about, hey, well, Johnny, look, you got some money to invest? I got about 2 deals right now. These, you know, that's the beauty of it. So
I know. That's how I rock,
because you never know when you're gonna need somebody served. That's just like me. I need a whole meeting with Johnny over here because I got him and my homie who he making moves and getting ready to start making moves. All right, what we need to do with this money?
Tap in. And now, one more thing too. So for the new entrepreneurs and the people who's been doing it for years, man, if your team cannot have a setup, pull up a chair to you and tell you some different things, you're not listening to what they have to say, you won't be in business long. It's real. You know, the people around you, man, you don't trust them enough, man, to listen to what they have to say, man. You need to get out of business, period. Simple as that.
True.
So, hey, man, I salute to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming on, man. This was phenomenal, man. I enjoyed this. I got more questions next time, though. I was shooting, but y'all was just dodging them. You know what I'm saying? I ran out of bullets. I had to throw my gun at y'all, man.
I didn't know you was gonna come with a topic that's based on most of my sales presentations.
I didn't know.
I thought that's why he showed up again. Like, I said, okay,
I was just here because I didn't know what was gonna be on. He had texted me when I was in the car and he was like, "Hey Jay, you gonna be able to get on today?" Yeah, man. You know what? I'm just getting home from the event. I didn't even know what it was. So I was like, "Hey, if I can contribute,
I appreciate that too, bro. I definitely appreciate that." So, hey, man.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
Absolutely, man. Salute to you guys for coming on this later hour like this, man. I know you got to take care of your family and everything, but 7:30 going forward, man. 7:30 going forward. So really appreciate it. You guys have a great one.
You too.
All right.